and then it's like you going.
No, it's. Today I'm going to talk about networking, and I've brought along my best mate and chocolatier, Jamie Kemp, from JK Fine Chocolates. So, hello, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No worries, nice to be here. Why is networking important?
Okay, so networking is important because one, for someone like myself who's a bit of an introvert, it's a good way of getting out there and showcasing your brand and who you are. It's quite daunting. Depends on the event as well. What I tend to do is actually wear a branded top with my logo on. I'll also try and take samples, and I'll also contact the event before I go to see whether I actually want to buy any truffles for canapes or things like that. So that's a nice way of actually getting myself out there as a brand and as a person before I even need to speak to anyone.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you were saying earlier that it's not necessarily about the amount of people you talk to, is it?
Yeah, so I was saying, speak to a friend of mine who's again very similar to me, and he doesn't really like speaking to a lot of people, and he gets very frustrated when he doesn't speak to enough people at events like this. And actually, it's all about quality, not quantity. So just speaking to one or two people, actually, you can take that away. So the other day at the networking event, I took away sort of this many amounts of cards. So it's what you do with this afterwards. So I always write on them where I met them, a little bit about them if I spoke to them about something, and then I'll put it on a nice Excel spreadsheet. Basically, put them on a spreadsheet and go, this person's about this, what they're doing, and what they're interested in.
Very keen. So for a filmmaker, obviously networking is going to be a little bit different. But do you in a way think about who you might want to talk to first? So as a filmmaker, they might want to find a producer, and is there a way of being able to kind of tell who's who? Do you find?
That's a lot of pressure to put yourself under, that you want to go and find a producer or something like that. That's absolutely fine if you're good at doing that and you want to do that. Then that's fine. Personally, I found that was too stressful trying to go to an event and focus on who I want to meet, because like last night, for example, we spoke to someone who wasn't actually in our industry and probably wouldn't actually connect to, but they knew someone that was in the industry, and we wouldn't have known that at all.
And I think that's a really important thing, is that you should always actually be really nice and chat to anyone. You shouldn't just be after what they can offer. You should just be
totally, because as I said, like there was one person that I've met and I can instantly tell he was trying to sell to me. Anyone who's trying to sell to me is just a big no-no. Works for some people, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if someone starts talking to you and all they're doing is telling you what they do, you switch off, or you instantly think, well, I don't want to work with this person.
Yeah.
I've had filmmakers come up to me and show me their films, which is one of two ways. It's either quite interesting because you find out a lot about them very quickly, or it's frustrating, and then they're trying to get Wi-Fi and they're showing you something that you're not really interested in, and it's almost a bit like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Maybe something that they could do, like, we'll talk about business cards in a second, but if a business card has a photo that you've taken on there of a project or something, then you can talk about that. That's your like lead-in.
Yeah, someone actually told me, there's actually none examples in it at all, but someone actually told me that you should always put your face on your business card, because actually
mine's on mine.
It reminds people of who you are, makes it a bit more personal.
So let's just talk about business cards quickly. Why are they important, and aren't yours magnetic?
I've got some magnetic ones, they're really cool. So basically, I give them out at certain places or certain people where they can just take them home and stick them on the fridge. So for me, I go to the fridge every day, and actually sometimes you don't realise how much you see on the fridge.
Yeah.
Some people have loads of things on the fridge, some people just have one or two things. So having that on the fridge every day.
Yeah.
Business cards is just that first profile. They need to do something with it, or you need to do something with it, because otherwise they just get lost in the bags.
Yeah, otherwise it's wasting money, really, isn't it?
Oh, totally, yeah.
I think you're probably like me. I quite like a dark, colourful one. There's so many plain white cards you get given that I just mistake for like a bit of card paper and throw away, or at least something with a bit of colour. I might be like,
a lot of white ones there,
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine's a bit too thin, really, but yours is just very thick.
Yeah, it's like triple ply. I don't like it though. I want a new one.
I must take out the whole wallet.
I took out.
You got a lot there? No, just the one.
Okay, so let's wrap up and just talk about very quickly the difference between local and national networking events and if it's worth paying for different ones. Because sometimes a networking event will say you can come, but it's going to cost you £50 a go. Or they might say, oh yeah, you have to come, but it's in London, and you think, is it worth it? Especially if it's £50 on top. So how do you choose what ones to go to?
That's an interesting one, because I haven't paid for an awful lot of networking events, to be honest. The organisers tend to be quite grateful to get a lot of people there. Years ago, I went to a very, very small one in London. So I'm based in Portsmouth, and not sort of the businesses that I would really connect to, but I met one person there who said about another event and in London, which I went to and was amazing, and I met some amazing people there. So from that little event that really kind of I felt I got nothing out of almost, I actually did got a lot out of it in the end when I went to another event and then so on and so forth. So I never put down an event really.
Okay.
Especially if it's a free event. Yes, it costs a train ticket, but actually you never know what you're going to get out of it. Paid events, I think you do then have to have a motive of what you want out of it. Are you happy just to spend like 20, 30, 50 quid on going and just sort of mingling with people and just be very open to what you might get? Or do you go there with intention to meet a producer or something like that? So, yeah, I think your mindset has to be right. A bit like gambling.
Yeah.
Happily to lose 50 quid because it's fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just know you're going to lose it. Or you determined to get something out of that.
Yeah. Great. I think also you shouldn't be afraid to go to a networking event that isn't a film networking event. Because the one we went to last night, you know, that woman's husband was a TV director, and equally, like, you might find a new client and actually be able to get paid work out of it.
Yeah, totally, yeah. I've met all sorts of customers that you wouldn't thought wanted chocolates or interested in chocolate, but actually, yeah, totally. Yeah. Definitely, so you'll be surprised in your target market.
Yeah. If you want to try one of Jamie's amazing chocolates, then click on the link below. They are so good.
Is that what's going to happen? It's going to be like...
Yeah. Well, you do vegan chocolate as well, don't you? I'm lactose intolerant, so...
Yeah, so it's dairy free. So the idea was that I wanted it to be dairy free, but then it became a vegan, suitable for vegans as well.
Great. Well, thanks, bud. All right, see you tomorrow.
I won't.
Well, actually, we might do Madagascar. You might see him tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.